In 2022 alone, around 234,000 retired Americans moved to a different state. That's a large number of seniors who are just trying to find a new lease on life. And with today's modern medicinal advances, many times they get just that, a new life. With about 40% of most working Americans feeling underprepared for their golden years, it's no wonder why so many diligently weigh their options when thinking about retirement. Moving to another state can provide better healthcare opportunities, cheaper costs of living, better public transportation options, and many other benefits. So today, we'll be looking at the 10 best states in the U.S. to retire to. Unfortunately, though, just because a state may excel in one field, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good overall fit. For example, Alabama may be the cheapest state to retire to, but it also has a low quality of life and the worst healthcare in the country, exempting it from today's list. Also, make sure you watch till the end because we guarantee that number 1 on the list is not what you think. Now, let's get started. Number 10, North Dakota. North Dakota is one of the most beautiful states, with scenery reminiscent of a Norman Rockwell painting, and earns both monikers of the Peace Garden State and the Rough Rider State. Those who enjoy a more rural living will feel at peace here with its array of camping, hiking, and fishing spots like the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, the Painted Canyon Overlook, and the Badlands, which has an amazing overlook. Meanwhile, the more conservative and religious retirees will love the state's low unemployment rate, strong economy, and spacious cities that have more churches per capita than any other state in the country. Those in need of medical care will have no complaints either, as the major cities like Fargo has some of the best doctors in the state concentrated there. With the median home average being 28% lower than the national average, it's cheaper in Fargo to buy a home to retire in than to find a retirement center in some cities. Overall, North Dakota is a solid retirement option, especially for those who love the great outdoors. Number 9, Idaho. Idaho is a state full of natural bodies of water, snow-capped mountains, and an agricultural economy to rival any in the nation. It's also large, making up approximately the same square mileage as all the New England states combined. Despite being most famous for its potatoes, Idaho earned its moniker of the Gem State, thanks to being home to 72 different types of stones of varying value. This is another state that is great for the more active retirees, as there are tons of opportunities for fishing, hiking, and big game hunting. The heavy agriculture in the state adds largely to the economy, allowing Idaho to provide state services to the public. The cost of living here is low too, with almost everything including healthcare, utilities, and transportation all falling below the national averages. As for any retirees who may need assistance, there are many small and beautiful cities that can accommodate them. In Sandpoint, for example, seniors make up 19% of the city's population, thanks in no small part to having readily available medical resources. Research found that the city was home to 6.34 medical centers per 1,000 residents. In addition to the farmers markets and the Bonner County History Museum, the small city of Sandpoint is perfect for retirees. And there are plenty of other great semi-urban spots like this in Idaho, such as Emmett, which is close enough to Boise to access care when needed, as is Garden City, whose scenic homes are beautifully placed on the Boise River, and whose senior citizenry makes up 25% of the total population, ensuring a retiree will never feel alone while also getting a daily intake of nature. Number 8, Minnesota. Despite being called the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota is actually home to 11,842, but who's counting? All of these lakes, combined with natural wonders like the Niagara Caves and Gooseberry Falls, cover the state, making it the perfect home for nature lovers. Anyone into city living won't be disappointed either, as the state is home to the world-famous Mall of America, skywalks that allow you to travel blocks without ever going street level, and multiple professional athletic teams. Minnesota, perhaps most importantly to seniors, is also the headquarters of the Mayo Clinic, which is constantly recognized as the best in the nation in multiple fields, including cancer, diabetes, and geriatrics. Well, many states are home to major cities with medical centers, but small towns in between that are sorely lacking. Minnesota's healthcare extends far beyond the heavy urban areas. In Jackson, there are multiple parks and bars all set in a suburban setting, while providing healthcare at facilities like the Sanford Jackson Medical Center and Southwestern Mental Health Center. Even small-town settings like Grand Marius, which is home to dog sled racing of all things, still offer basic medical care at the local Sawtooth Mountain Clinic. Whether looking for a lakeside home or an urban care facility, Minnesota covers all the needs of retirees. Number 7. South Dakota. Despite being the 16th largest state in the U.S., South Dakota only has a population just shy of 900,000 people, making it one of the most spacious states and one that constantly ranks among the happiest in the nation. And the state is not only home to the 60-foot-tall monuments of former presidents carved into the side of a mountain, but is also home of the Custer State Park, to the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, and the famous Badlands National Park. This is also another state perfect for retirees with an affinity for nature, as there are plenty of locations throughout the state for outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, and hunting. Meanwhile, those with a passion for sophistication can find a number of wineries, museums, and art galleries that are representative of the Great Plains culture. Those living in South Dakota can also reap the benefits of low housing costs, which equate to less than 85% of what the rest of Americans are paying, and the low cost of living, which is about 12% lower than the national average. Though many states that aren't very metropolitan tend to lack in healthcare services, South Dakota boasts of decent healthcare services and health systems across the state that rival others in the nation. Avera is a branched medical center that has offices throughout the state with multiple specialties. One of these is the Sioux Falls Avera McKinnon Wellness Center, which offers steam saunas, indoor spas, hot tubs, and hot rocks sauna. Truly, between the parks, wildlife, and wellness centers, South Dakota has everything a suburban or rural retiree could love. Number 6. New Hampshire. The state of New Hampshire was one of the first 13 original colonies, and its motto is live free or die, though as of late, a more fitting motto would be live free until you die. In recent years, the Granite State has proven itself not just one of the best places to live in America, but very welcoming and enduring for retirees. Despite the high cost of living in the state, residents can take comfort in New Hampshire's lack of state income tax and sales tax. Meanwhile, seniors will thrive as there is also no taxation on Social Security, withdrawals from retirement accounts, or even on any form of pension. In New Hampshire, retirees can safely hoard or spend their money without fear of extra taxation. And though 87% of the state's land is made up of forests, it's still home to 48 mountains that reach over 4,000 feet in elevation, many beautiful beaches, and 39 land conservation organizations that ensure the security of the state's many fishing and hiking spots. Those who aren't as in tune with nature can thrive in one of New Hampshire's cities, especially considering the state boasts of the lowest poverty and crime rates in the nation. Number 5. Delaware. Despite only being around 2,500 square miles, Delaware is essentially the New England poster boy, with its coast lined with beaches and the many towns looking like an episode of Green Acres. And even though it's a northeastern coastal state, Delaware keeps a nice temperature year-round compared to its neighbors, with an average of around 74 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer and 32 in the winter. Much like our last entry, the first state can also boast of no state tax, no sales tax, and surprisingly, low property taxes. Retirees can also benefit from a lack of taxes on Social Security benefits, not to mention the fact that if you're over 60, the first $12,000 of your pensions or other retirement income is untaxed. There are numerous small towns to spend those savings in too. Towns like Newark, Wilmington, and Dover are all historically green cities, covered in colonial architecture and filled with museums, parks, and just a short drive away from the beach, where dolphins can often be spotted. But if you need a more urban feel, cities with nearly any amenity needed like Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. are usually just a short drive away. Number 4. Wyoming. Despite being the 10th largest state in the U.S., Wyoming has the smallest population at only around 580,000 citizens in total. This has allowed the wildlife to thrive and the scenery of the wilderness to remain the dominant force of the landscape. The state is home to all kinds of wildlife, from elk to grizzly bears to bighorn sheep, allowing for many hunting or wildlife viewing opportunities. Wyoming's landscape is so unique and beautiful that in 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt designated the Devil's Tower as the first national monument. If that isn't impressive enough, the state also has around 27,000 miles of rivers and streams for fishing, 4,200 lakes for boating, and most famously, the vast majority of Yellowstone National Park. Those looking to retire in Wyoming will also be able to thrive with the money they've saved up thanks to the state's low cost of living. There is also a low 4% sales tax, no income tax, and similar to past entries, no taxation of retirement accounts, social security, or pensions. Also, there are many small communities like Torrington, Sheridan, and Casper that all have senior populations of over 15% who live comfortably and enjoy the natural wonders of Wyoming. Number 3. Colorado. While it was recently placed fairly high in our video for top 10 states everyone is leaving in America in 2023, for a multitude of reasons, Colorado also, however, finds itself very desirable for inbound retirees. While many younger citizens are leaving to get away from the higher property costs, seniors are finding the low rates of taxes on retirement incomes quite desirable. Retirees who want to be free from the responsibilities of home owning can find an array of affordable senior living communities that offer independent living, assisted living, and even memory care facilities. The state also offers some of the best healthcare facilities in the country, like the University of Colorado Hospital and the UC Health Memorial Hospital. If this isn't enough for some, or if you're a retiree with a hotter fire burning in your belly, Colorado is home to the Rocky Mountains, where snow lovers can find 32 operating ski resorts, 14.5 million acres of public land, and amazing parks like the Mesa Verde National Park. Overall, Colorado is not just a beautiful state, but a great choice for any retiree looking for that crisp mountain air. Number 2. Florida. Florida entered the Union in 1845 and earned the moniker of the Sunshine State, perfectly exemplifying the main reasons people have been retiring there for years. While children may think of Florida and imagine blowing thousands of their parents' dollars just to hang out with Mickey Mouse, seniors and sports fans alike rush to the state's golf courses, of which there are more than 1,250. For years now, Florida has topped the list of inbound retirees, yet it recently lost its place to our number 1 spot, majorly because of the rising property costs in the state. But those looking to retire can simply get around this by joining one of Florida's many senior communities, like Watermark at West Palm Beach, where there are many great healthcare facilities, like the Good Samaritan Medical Center. In Miami, meanwhile, the Select Specialty Hospital specializes in elderly care, giving a sense of security to the older population. All of the medical and elderly benefits aside, retirees will enjoy Florida's sunny weather even through the winter, where the average temperature is between 76 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Thanks to the great temperatures, you can reap the benefits of the many beautiful beaches that dot the landscape year-round. But if that isn't enough reason, the affordable cost of living and some of the best tax benefits for seniors in the nation should be. In Florida, there are 0 taxes on Social Security, 0 on retirement funds, lower property taxes when compared to other states, and no state income tax. If you want to golf or go boating year-round without burning a hole in your wallet, Florida may be for you. Number 1. Virginia. Virginia is known as the Old Dominion, and it's a fitting title for a multitude of reasons, proving itself the perfect home for seniors and retirees after topping the long-reigning king, Florida. While the obvious reasons to retire to Virginia may be the beaches, colonial architecture, and beautiful greenery seen in the state's many parks and gardens, there are also many more reasons than these. For one, Virginia has dedicated itself to allowing people to keep their hard-earned money. On top of refusing to tax Social Security benefits on the state level, Virginia will also allow its residents to deduct any federal taxes taken from those benefits when filing. Any citizen in the state 65 or older can also qualify for a tax deduction of up to $12,000 from any additional income. In addition to the financial reasons for retiring to Virginia, the state also offers free secondary education to residents 60 and older thanks to the Virginia Senior Citizens Higher Education Act. Considering all the benefits of retiring in Virginia, it's no wonder the Old Dominion tops our list for older citizens headed for retirement.